everyone. It's Julianne Meyer, your host of Own Your Wellness. Welcome to the show. I have to tell you a little secret. I just turned 43. It was my birthday recently, and I got back from Vegas. It was so much fun. It's nice to see that things are finally starting to open up. And the reason why I even mention it is because my guest today, it was actually just in Vegas as well. His name's Kaya Redford, and I had the honor and the privilege of interviewing him over the summer for my Live with Joy Summit. And I'm excited to bring him here to this platform and introduce him to even more people because he's amazing. So let me bring him up onto the stage. Hi, Kaya. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Julianne. How are you?
So good. It's so nice to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Yes. And I heard we just had the Oscars, right?
That's right. That's right.
The Oscars were happening while I was in Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that completely.
Or right after, I don't know. I'm surprised they were giving out Oscars. I don't not even know that Hollywood was happening right now.
I think they kind of have to give some sort of like normalcy and like things are going back. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but anyway, I'm excited to have you on the show today. And I would love if you would just share a little bit about yourself and your own journey.
Wow. Is this the 1 minute, the 2 minute, 5 minute version?
Whatever you want to share, honestly, because it's interesting.
Today is about wellness, right?
Correct.
So maybe I can share my story in the context of wellness. So I am one of the rare individuals who at one point in my life had open heart surgery. So when you talk about wellness, that's definitely not an encounter that you consider being well. So I had to go from not well to very well. I was born actually in Omaha, Nebraska. My dad was a petroleum engineer. He turned out to be an incredible, loving, generous father, but a workaholic that wasn't there too much. Sometimes gone on trips 3 months, 6 months. So in my early childhood, I didn't really see him because he was addicted to his work. My mom, we born in Omaha, Nebraska. Then because of his career, it took him to Algeria, third world country. And then from there to Spain, to England. And I lived pretty much all of my childhood, even though I'm US born, I lived all my childhood away from the US from 6 months old until around 19, 20 years old. And some people, when they hear that, they go, oh my God, I'm so jealous. What a great life. You lived all over the world. Yeah, have you ever heard the term best laid plans, where we all have the best intention? My dad had the best intention because as a petroleum engineer, he traveled a lot. So either he was going to do what everybody else did, which is leave your family in the US and be gone all the time, or you travel and you take your family with you. That was his best intention. But what happened is when he traveled and he took us with him, he was still gone all the time. So it didn't really matter much. My mom, being felt pretty alone and neglected for many, many years. And she was in a third world country, didn't know anybody. He was gone all the time. So what do people do when they're challenged emotionally and marriages where they feel neglected, unloved, unheard, unvalued? Even though my dad was loving and generous, but just addicted to his job. We turned to alcohol. We turned to something to bury our sorrows. So my mom ended up having challenges with alcohol. I would say she was an alcoholic. So I had a workaholic dad, an alcoholic mom, and here I am, the youngest of three little bambinos, and I'm being exposed to a lot of not so good stuff. So in my 30s, fast forward to my 20s and 30s, I'm just super blocked. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm here to do. I have zero purpose, zero direction. I don't know how to even do anything for anybody, let alone make a buck. I'm broke all the time. I'm frustrated and angry, and I don't know why. And I wound up in a seminar. Well, actually, my first experience was seeing someone telling me about this thing called The Secret. And I'm like, I don't know, what the heck is The Secret? They said, The Secret. You haven't seen or heard The Secret? And I thought, okay, no. Is it starring Will Smith? I mean, I don't understand who's in The Secret. So I go and get it, and I put the DVD in, and then I'm looking at this tall, skinny white guy, who later I discovered his name is Bob Proctor, probably in his 60s or 70s, and he's speaking, and I'm like, this ain't no freaking movie. What is this? This is a. I didn't even know self-help. I did not know self-development, self-help. I didn't know nothing. And so he's speaking to me, and I realized this is not a movie. This is some kind of positive thinking thing. And he says, you create your experience of reality. As soon as I heard that, he says, your thinking creates your life. As soon as I heard that, I kind of got a little annoyed, and I wanted to turn it off because I had a very difficult life. So I had no purpose, no direction, not making money, not doing much of anything. But this guy says that I created that. I'm like, no. I did not create this life. My parents created this life. My dad was gone all the time. My mom was an alcoholic. A lot of terrible things happened to me when I was a kid, when my dad was gone and my mom was drunk.
He was absent.
So I don't need to necessarily depress anybody, because I'm not here to. I'm here to bring love and light to all of you. But just suffice to imagine, all kinds of abuse happen, from strangers, whoever, physical, mental, emotional, and the other one that is uncomfortable to talk about for many people, sexual abuse. All this stuff happened in the early part of my life, and I had blocked it out. So now I'm 30 years old. Came back to the US when I was 20, went to college here, had challenges there, had challenges in my life, had no purpose, no direction. And then I hear this movie, The Secret, and I'm watching Bob Proctor, and he says, you create your experience of reality. And I went straight into the blame game. No, I didn't create this life. This was done to me. And so the next thing he said in this movie, which is my second breakthrough of my life, was that if you have a dream, you wouldn't have the dream if you didn't have the capability of achieving the dream. Just the fact that you dream of something, whether consciously or unconsciously, means that on some level, you're supposed to do that dream. So I'm about to turn the DVD off because I'm pissed off that he's basically saying that I'm causing my terrible life. But then I'm conflicted because I want to keep it on because I don't understand what he's talking about, because I used to daydream, right? I'm sure some of you in your life daydream about, or have daydreamed about, having a happy life, living in the mountains or on the beach, and being able to do things for people, being able to write that check for that charity, being the person that's able to shine and contribute to humanity. I had these dreams in my head of doing all this stuff, but they weren't a reality. So he got my attention. My third encounter with Bob was having seen the DVD, then going online. I'm thinking, I don't know what God is or who God is, but certainly that looks like God to me. I go online, I order something. I'm completely broke. I probably borrowed money from someone. I order something, and then I find out that he's going to be in LA at the Radisson Hotel at LAX. And so I go there and I walk in. There's 500 people in the room. This is right after Bob Proctor, Michael Beckwith, and Jack Canfield. If you know who that is, I know obviously Julianne, you know who that is. For some viewers, may or may not know who they are, but they're the people in The Secret, the movie, the book based on Rhonda Byrne's, the movie based on the book written by Rhonda Byrne, called The Secret. They had just come off the Oprah show, so they're like super famous. They're like gods, right? So I walk in, there's 500 people in the room, and everybody's lining up to get an autograph. And I'm thinking, this. I had such a skeptical, negative mindset. I'm like, are they so pathetic? This isn't, Guns N' Roses. This isn't Van Halen. I like, what do you guys are standing there like idiots waiting to get an autograph of someone you saw on a DVD. This is so scary. So I had a huge chip on my shoulder, and I'm watching the line dissipate. And just before he gets back on stage and the line dissipates, I go up and I say hi and I talk to him for a couple minutes, and then he hits on stage. 20 minutes later, he's into his 20-minute long speech. I'm going to wrap it up because I know you've got a few questions for me, Julianne. 20 minutes
I'm
into
actually
his speech,
fascinated.
20 minutes into his speech, he says, "Where's the Kyle? Kyle, Kaya, Koya, Kuya." And I'm like, "Oh no, he is not." I bury my head in my fingers, and I'm mortified because when someone butchers your name that way, and it's been happening for quite some time, you know it's you. There isn't a Kayo, Kuya, Kaya. He's talking about me, and I'm mortified because I didn't even realize or acknowledge to myself I had a fear of public speaking. You do not call me up in front of 500 people to nothing, period. And he's keeps calling. I'm mortified. I have my hands done. And then suddenly the room goes quiet. And I'm like, what's going on? The room's quiet. Hopefully he forgets, thinks I'm no longer here. And he continues. And as the room is quiet, he's quiet. I kind of crack my fingers open to see. And guess what I notice? He's standing right on stage looking right at me. Kaya, right? Oh, I was like, why did I have to sit in the fourth row? This is so stupid. So I was just embarrassed and humiliated. And he said, "Stand up." And I felt like I wanted to punch someone. I'm like, "Stand up." But I found myself standing up. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I standing up? You know, you have a fear of public speaking. You know, you're going to stutter, because I used to stutter when I got nervous. And he asked me a question, which I kind of remember it's something about the program that I ordered online, and he wanted some feedback or something. I cannot tell you what I said. I do not even remember what I said. All I know is after 30 to 45 seconds, by the way, my knees are numb. I feel like I'm going to faint right there in front of everybody. But somehow I said something. Then the whole room of 500 people starts applauding. I feel like I'm in a dream, because this is not, I can't say something and people applaud for me. I mean, that didn't even compute, which began the journey of me realizing I had blocks and realizing that there was something else greater for me than what my existence was at that time. And that's kind of how I got started in this journey.
That's actually so fascinating to me. I love that there was something inside of you that kept dragging you forward. Like even watching the DVD, getting online and buying that, going up there, talking to him, just because you're actually supposed to be doing what you're doing. So I just love that story. I didn't know that. I love that. I actually had the opportunity to meet all those three men at the World's Greatest Motivators. So
they're
it's
incredible.
Powerful.
My last breakthrough on this was interesting, was about a year, 2 years later. I had worked with Bob Proctor, Beckwith, and Jack Canfield in their program Science of Getting Rich, and I became their #1 trainer in that program for, in the LA community, became the city leader for Los Angeles. And I had a few people in a mastermind, maybe 15, 20 people, it wasn't even big at that time. And one of them came up to me and said, "Hey, Kaya, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." "How come you've got these banners of these other people," which he was referring to Bob Proctor, Beckwith, Jack Canfield, "but there's no banner of you?" And he started to cry.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "They haven't changed my life. You have." And that was my breakthrough, is that I started out not thinking I was even good enough to do this. And that was a breakthrough for me in realizing that I get to step into the role of leadership and see myself as a person that does contribute, and then just expand on that. So it just kind of came full circle. And then I had this event where I asked Bob, "Would you share the stage with me?" And he said, "Sure." Then they said, "You got to have a number of people. He's not going to come in and, they're right off the Oprah show. He's not going to come and hang out with 10 people he's used to the bigger things." So I contacted a radio station, and I got Ryan Seacrest himself to announce a seminar between Bob Proctor and Kaya Redford. And it was at the, it was in Monrovia. It was actually just east of Pasadena. And my dream went from seeing this guy on a DVD, being completely blocked, to within less than, I would say, 7 months, sharing the stage with him in front of over 300 people, still insecure as they come, still second guessing myself, not stuttering, but almost stuttering. And it kind of reminds me that, you know, the idea of failing forward, right? There, you know, in neuro-linguistic programming thing, and I'm a trainer's trainer in, we can get into that for sure as well. They say there is no failure, there is only feedback. So, and you know, you fail forward, and so everything you do, and you listen to someone like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, God bless his soul, who passed away recently, and Jordan will say, "I've taken 3,300 shots that missed. I missed this, I missed that, and that's what makes me a champion." It's when we make those, when we're confronted by something that we think is impossible, and we don't do it so excellently, and we fumble the ball, we drop the ball, but somehow we pick it up, and somehow we still run it. Eventually we get to our goal, which is just like nature. Nature is like that, you know. Any creature out there is always failing at their attempts to do whatever until they figure it out. So I think it's been a huge journey. And Julianne, I want to recognize you, because this is our second interview, and there are very few people that are out there in this world. They do exist. They're just not, there are few who have the boldness and the love for humanity to create a platform to reach out to other leaders such as yourself and create important content, wisdom, personal growth for everybody in the world. And I really want to say thank you for bringing me on your show. Whenever you ask me to be on your show, I'm in.
Oh, yay. I love hearing that. And thank you for that acknowledgement. Because you know, you were saying about failing forward, and I think this is such an important concept. A lot of people think they'll wait until they're ready, but if you wait until you're ready, you'll never get there. So how were you able to just do it anyway? Was there just, you just sucked it up? I mean,
I have committed my life to God in the last, probably, I'm 48 years old, which it's been a long time coming, probably around 46 when I had my final breakthrough. And what I've come to understand is that even though in my mind I didn't have God with me, God was with me the whole way through. I get emotional when I think about it. It was like I was the only person that didn't have the memo. I was the only person that didn't know that God was with me the whole time. And I find like that there was this calling, this voice, but I wasn't listening to it, like a magnet that was continuously pulling me along in spite of all my defects. I mean, in my 20s and 30s, I was taking drugs. I was doing ecstasy on the weekends. I was drinking vodka like it was water. I was doing all the things that would be the things one would do if you wanted to sabotage your life. I was making the worst decisions. But the whole time and through, even though I was battling myself, there was this thing that was pulling me. Kaya, just take another step. Take another step. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to introduce. And I think that it's the North Star, the guiding light. And I think that's perhaps the most important thing. And even if someone is an atheist, it still applies. You don't have to. I mean, obviously, it's great to believe in God, whatever God is for you. If it's universe, if it's Lord, if it's Jesus, we respect different religions. If it's Allah or Buddha, everybody gets to pick what that is, and we honor, respect everybody's choice and right to decide whatever that is for you. But even for the atheist, someone who doesn't believe. Maybe you believe in your higher self. There's something beyond us that we're a part of that's pulling us. And so the question that Oprah Winfrey said when she did her interview with Essence Magazine, she said, ask not for what you want. She said, ask what your creator wants for you. And that was huge for me, is to ask not what does Kaya want? Because if I go with what I want, it comes from my own perception of myself. And my perception of myself comes from years of, abuse, abandonment, neglect. So my perception of myself, no longer today, but back in the past up until recently, was that I didn't matter. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't deserving. I'm not lovable. I'm not important. Clearly, I'm not important, right? So if I use that mindset to dictate what my future is, I've already sold myself short. But if instead I ask, what did my creator create me for? What does my creator want me for? And I listen to that, and I tune into that, and I start to take baby steps, just baby steps, one foot in front of the other, right? Towards that. Then one day you wake up, which is where I am today, and you realize it's the first time you've ever been happy. I just swam for an hour, so I've still got the chlorine and stuff that I'm working with here. The first time in my life, I would say last 2 years, I've ever been happy. I'm 48. So prior to 46, I lived in misery. The last 2 years, the first time I've ever been happy. And that was happened before COVID. So it's not a pandemic related thing. It's just more of an awakening thing. And I truly believe that suffering is optional. If you're watching this show, you want to write that down. Many people that are suffering, they think, oh, it happens to them. No. If you're suffering, it's because on some level you're choosing it. So suffering is optional. When is now the time that we get to be happy? And part of happiness is wellness.
I love that. That's so well said. And about God, because that's one of my favorite topics. It's kind of funny because hindsight's always 2020. Now you can look back and be like, oh, that's where he showed up. Oh, that's where like,
Yep.
No wonder I didn't turn off that DVD or whatever the case may be. But
Yep.
I just love that. And I find that a lot of people find it difficult to talk about or just because they don't want to offend anybody. But I personally, I'm over it.
I'm going to help people remove the concern around offense. The problem is religion has created a lot of division. The wars that we have in this world are ideological wars. The main message is, I'm right. My God is the right God. You're wrong. Your God is the wrong God. And the fact that you don't believe in my God, now I feel in danger. I feel somehow threatened by you. And if I feel threatened by you, the only way I can behave is attack you. So we get to teach a different thing. And the different thing we get to teach is love is the guiding principle. If you don't want to call it God, call it love. Universal love. And that's where all people and all religions come together. I have a Facebook group called A Dream to Bring the World Together. And that's what it is you have all these different spokes. If you look at a tire, you got the tire and you got the rim, and then you have all these different spokes. And all those spokes lead to the center hubcap, the center part of the rim. That's God. That's your creator. That's source. That's the universe. That's whatever. And all these spokes lead to that. Same thing with being, if we were all blindfolded, 10 of us were blindfolded and positioned to be around an elephant. You don't know it's an elephant. You're blindfolded, your hands, you put your hand out and someone touches the what is that called? The
trunk.
What's the note? The trunk. Yeah, I thought trunk doesn't sound like a trunk, but okay. The trunk. or the snout. And then another person touches the ear. Another person touches the thigh. Another person touches the belly. Another person touches the tail or the hair at the end of the tail. They would all have a different definition when the blindfold is on of what animal they're touching, because it feels very different in different parts of the body. The moment they remove their blindfold off, they're all going to realize they're speaking about the same animal, the same creature. So we get to stop worrying about creating division. When we speak about our Creator, we get to unify with the common theme that our Creator is about love. Love, and we're all extensions of that love, or you could call it the light. And our job here is to express that love, to extend that love to the entire world. And the problem with the world, if you watch the movie The Matrix, is we're in a world that is hypnotized by fear. It is addicted to fear. If it's not the pandemic, if it's not COVID, it's the swine flu. If it's not the swine flu, it's the bird flu. If it's not the bird flu, it's mad cow disease. If it's not this disease, it's another one perpetual. And if it's not some type of a pandemic, then it's race stuff, race wars. If it's not that, it's Muslim against. It's just one. There's only one common theme with all of it, which is fear and misery and conflict. And so what we get to do is stop looking to the world to define reality, because it's very upside down in its thinking, and start allowing this higher, I don't want to sound too wooey. It's not wooey. It's just allow this, come to the realization that we're spiritual beings living in a human body. We're here for a very short time. If you choose to believe it or not, you're an eternal being that always was, always is, and always will be. And that this moment in life is a gift. It's a very short time. We could say that the experience of life is a lesson. We could say the world is a learning device for us to figure out who we really are. So maybe we're coming to the world as a light, to be the light and shine the light in the darkness. So I know I'm getting a little too spiritual for some of your audience, and that's okay. I don't care. Well, I'm just letting you know that I truly believe we're never going to find inner peace. You're never going to be well if you are glued to the TV, and if the reality, the way you see it, is what the world is giving you. The world is so far away from reality. And then the skeptical person is going to say, but wait a minute, this stuff is really happening. So what are you talking about? It does exist. It does, but it's not, it is not, what we call it is in actuality separation from God. It's disconnection. And so this is interesting. What would be, if I give you an option, what would be the way to teach the world? What would be the way to become one? You hear the thing, we are one humanity. There's no black, no white, no Asian, Hispanic. There's no female, male, gay, lesbian, trans. We're all just spiritual beings living in a human body with different choices, and we can see the light in each other. So what would be the way to teach we are one? Would it be to go, hey guys, we're not acting like we're one. Why don't we act like we're one? Option one. Or option two, we are all one. When do we realize we are all one? Right? Option two, in order to be one with the world, you got to start from we are one. Not that we are divided and we get to become one, but we're actually united, but we just don't know it. We get to recognize. So that's my premise is that we get to wake up and to listen to and focus on what brings us together and what unites us. Because our focus is a huge mechanism. If we're focused on the problem, we'll get more of a problem. If we're focused on the fear will become bigger. If we're focused on solutions, right? And it starts at home with your own kids, with your own family. I have an incredible relationship with my two sons. I didn't for many years. And I realized that I needed to, correct that. And I did. And I'm in incredible relationship with them. So it starts with you at home, and then it goes elsewhere. And I think wellness comes from all of that. Wellness starts from the mind. If you have a mind that's at ease and in peace, you will communicate. Deepak Chopra says there's no separation between the mind and the body. Deepak Chopra, most of you guys would know. I know Julianne knows for sure. Deepak says the mind, every single cell in your body is eavesdropping, is listening to your mind. So when you have negative thinking in your mind, every single cell in your body is listening, is eavesdropping, is paying attention to your negative thinking in your mind. That thought focus in your mind actually spreads out to your entire body, which creates a body that's in disease. Yeah. So one of the books that I have been reading, it's an incredible book called A Course in Miracles. It's been endorsed by Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Oprah Winfrey, Richard Branson, bada boom, bada bing. There she is. It says if you have a body that's in disease, heal the mind. Heal the mind. The root cause of a body that's in disease is the mind. And so then you've got the Journal of American Medical Association in June of 1996, I think, the year. It says that anger causes heightened cholesterol and heart attacks. It says that sadness causes a lowered immune system, depression, and people get sick, right? Fear causes phobia and PTSD. Hurt causes a lowered healing energy in your body. And conflict has been connected to cancer. If you look at people that have cancer, you may see a correlation of conflict, inner conflict or outer conflict. And someone may say, well, that doesn't even make any sense. There's an 8-year-old that has cancer. They haven't lived long enough to have conflicts with people. No one said their conflict comes from necessarily their lifetime right now.
Exactly.
So I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but is it possible? So I'm also, and God bless one of my mentors, Tad James. He just passed away. He's the founder of Timeline Therapy. I'm trained by Richard Bandler, the founder of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and also trained by founder of Timeline Therapy, Tad James, who just passed away. And when we developed the process of Timeline Therapy to remove people's blocks, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, the anger, the sadness, the fear, all the negative emotions, all the limiting beliefs. When he traveled around the world, he discovered that there are actually more people alive on this planet today that believe in past lives or genealogical lives before they were born than don't. So wait a minute, there's more people on the planet that actually believe in a life before their own than people that don't. Okay. I'm not here to say one's right or wrong. I'm here to say as your coach, whatever it is that you believe, it is my blessing to respect your belief and help heal. And when I say help heal you, I'm not healing you. Your creator's healing you. I'm just a vehicle, just a messenger of that. Your creator heals you through that model of the world that you have. So wellness starts from a healthy mind. How would you have a healthy mind if you're burdening your whole life with, if it's all about you? Mm-hmm. If you're so focused in on you, ego, edging God out, edging your creator out, and it's all about you against the world. So now you live in a model of the world where everybody isn't your brother and sister. Everybody is someone you're competing with or an adversary. And so that's a very stressful existence. So because it's stressful, you now need to put walls up to protect yourself. You need to see this person as your enemy. And that's so stressful and you get sick. Yeah. So one of the first things is to create a relationship with your higher self, whatever that is. And then do the ritual every day of prayer or something meditative. And I do that every single day, even if I'm on holiday. Yeah. And I woke up, it's 9 a.m. Hey, like, you got to rush, Kai. We got to get to the boat. I'm sorry, I'm meditating. We'll take the lake up there. I make that a greater priority. I'm okay with making that a greater priority than anything, because I truly believe if you make your personal growth the most important thing, even more. Some people go, oh, he didn't say that, did he? Even more than your own children. If you make your personal growth even more important than your own children, and then your own spouse, then guess what? You will be a better spouse yourself. You will be a better parent. So you get to make your personal growth number one. And as a result of making that number one, you will become a better parent, become a better spouse. So that's what I truly believe.
I love that. You've dropped so many truth and knowledge bombs. It's unbelievable.
I would love to take credit for it. I can't. Read the book, A Course in Miracles. Get coached, get a connection. I truly believe it's just when you speak of me in that way, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my creator. So you can call it the Holy Spirit, the higher self, the whatever. I know that I didn't create myself. And I would like to just be a channel for that to speak to you, to all of us, and for us to have a higher level conversation. The fact that I get to be at that dinner table having the conversation is enough for me. I just know I'm not the one leading the conversation.
Absolutely. You know, something that I think is fascinating too is, I know for me, stepping out, because I'm a spiritual life coach, one of the things that is, if I could just remember to get out of my own way, it's not me. It takes all the pressure off, and all of a sudden everything just flows, and I'm genuinely helping people. So I love that you're always giving credit to the guy.
Give the credit to the guy and giving the credit to Julianne. You know, it's the course. By the way, they call it A Course in Miracles. Notice that it's not called the Course in Miracles, because it's very well put that there are many different curriculums. There are many teachers that guide us to the same point, different spokes of the wheel that lead to the same center of the wheel. And you just go with who you resonate with. So I see myself in you, Julianne. I see myself in whoever just posted. I saw someone post. Was it
Dana Pedro? Yeah.
Dana posted something. Thank you, Dana. And the course teaches that okay, so there's, like, the way I see it, 6 or 7 main things. Number one, we are love. Number two, our true purpose in life is to be the love, extend the love to others. So if that means you do it as a basketball player, if you do it as an accountant, if you do it as a swimmer, if you do it as a teacher, it doesn't matter. Whatever your skill set is, you are love, and we extend our love to others. And that's number two. Number three is we are here to perform miracles. Let's go there. Let's go all the way. We're here to perform miracles. A miracle, as defined by the course, or A Course, is an act of love. So how hard is it when you're at the checks man and people are buying groceries and you see a little 4-year-old toddler sitting in the cart and looks at you? How hard is it to wink back, do a little peekaboo, whatever you do, and get the kid laughing when mom is busy trying to, do her purchase and stuff? How difficult is it to open a door? How difficult is it when you see a homeless person to give them love? You know, I used to judge that. I used to judge. It's so weird. I did a documentary in 2004 called Homeless in America, and I was in the right track. And then I lost my light because of my bad decision making. And then I started to come to a place of judging. Why are people in the situation they're in? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? And I didn't realize the whole time. I thought I was helping, but I was actually just judging. So going full circle, realizing that that homeless person laying on the sidewalk is God. We're all children of the Most High. And when that person is there laying on the sidewalk and we neglect them, we ignore them, we're ignoring God. And if we're ignoring God, we're ignoring ourselves. And if you're ignoring ourselves, I bet you're doing something like that with your own children, with your own spouse. What you do out there, what you do in one area, you do everywhere. So we're living a somewhat disconnected existence. So we are love, extend our love, perform miracles, which are acts of love. The Course also describes a miracle as transforming fear into love. So anything that's a fear vibration, transforming it into love. And then it says all disease comes from some form of fear, some form of manifested fear, thought energy that goes into the body. And then the last two steps, the way I see it, is giving our life to that higher purpose. So again, if it's an atheist, it still applies. If you don't believe in God or Lord or Jesus or Allah or Buddha, doesn't matter. I know that thought process is, well, of course it matters. It has to matter. You must, but actually, if you read the Course, you read the whole thing about it, you realize that it's not actually necessary that you believe that it's God or this or that, that you just give up to something higher than yourself that you cannot define what that is. So give your life in service to that. And then the final piece is the sonship. So because imagine if you had a book that is written, okay, so then he, she, it said, went to the market and then gave the money to the other person, and then he or she and it would be so cumbersome to use the masculine, the feminine, and the it. So the Course just made it simple and just said he. But it also says that God is unisex, or whatever you call that. It's not male or female. So the sonship, it's really the sonship and daughtership. It's the sons and daughters of God. Our goal is to unite mankind together. Well, some people go, I had this conversation yesterday. Oh, well, Donald Trump, he was so divisive. He was this and he was that. How do you know God doesn't use Donald Trump too?
Exactly.
To show us, to put right in front of the mirror our issues. How do you know? So I know this may be difficult for some people to hear. God bless freaking Donald Trump. So whether you love him or hate him doesn't matter. He came in, he did what he could do with his mindset. I'm not here to judge his mindset. And from that, we got a real look at America.
We most certainly did.
We're not as highly evolved as we think we are. Oh, the this, what do they call it? The supreme power, the what do you call it? The empire. We're the empire, and we should tell the rest of the world how to live. And what's that? The diplomacy, democracy, and because we're just so higher consciousness country and people that all of you should just listen to us. Bullshit. Pardon my French. Bullshit. We have just as much weaknesses and challenges as the rest, and we're no better than any other country, any other person. So God bless Donald Trump for coming into power to show us, to bring up the vibration, whatever he brought up to the surface, so we could go, wow, we have some work to do. We have some work to do. So stop judging presidents. Stop making presidents better than each other. It's like, look in the freaking mirror. What are you doing? What are you specifically doing on a daily basis that makes the world a better place before you start pointing your finger at the president? What are you doing? And also, what are you not doing? What are you not doing that you should be doing rather than pointing your finger? It's like cause and effect. This world is not only addicted to fear, addicted to misery. This world is addicted to blame. It's addicted to pinning everything that we're frustrated out on everybody else, rather than looking in the mirror and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. Who do I get to be right now to create an environment around me? And how can I get together with my brothers and sisters? And how can we create a collective environment where everybody heals, where there isn't the haves and the have-nots? You know, I do agree that how is it that you can have someone now worth 300, 200, 300 billion, and there are people that don't even have running water? There are people that are starving the world. So there is this, you know, there's something wrong in the way we see it, where even the desire to become a billionaire, of course, I wouldn't say no to becoming a billionaire.
You can help more people.
I know the purpose of the billions. I know exactly what they would be used for. So my first mentor, Bob Proctor, he says, you were born rich. He said, one of the most noble things you could ever do is to become rich. And he says, when you're rich, you're empowered and you can empower others. So I get that. Yep. But for as long as there are people that are suffering in the world, how can you go to sleep in your 24 karat gold bed? It just doesn't compute. It doesn't compute. Unless you believe that your life is in your bubble and no one else gets in it except for your daughter or son or husband or wife. And then surprise, surprise, when you come to the end of your life, you're not happy. You had all the 24 karat gold beds and it never made you happy, because the whole entire time you were disconnected from what you really wanted, which you were disconnected from, which was community and love. Exactly. You know, so
and higher power.
And higher power. And I know I'm speaking to a certain values level. In our mastery program, we do the Dr. Claire Graves values levels, and there's really a few different values levels. And there's the corporation, the book, religion is values level 4. Then values level 5 is the entrepreneur. And you can take a test and find out where you're at and then what you need to do so that you can not fall into misery and whatever. And then there's the we are one, or it's community. And so we're progressing through these values levels, and many people are stuck. They're stuck in a thinking, in either the thinking of there's rules, there's boxes, and there's only one right way and everything else is wrong, which basically sounds like attack to me. If you're right, Tony Robbins would say, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship? For as long as you want to be right, you're not going to have a relationship. So,
yeah.
Do you want to be right? Like I would say, one of the worst things in the world is righteousness. I'm right and you're wrong. And then when you get to the next values level, it's not about there's one right way. It's which is the best way. So even that is tainted, because while we're looking for the best way, we don't care who it hurts in the process. We want to be number one. We want to make the most amount of money. And we don't care if we destroy the environment. We don't care if we destroy this or hurt that. So is this a little bit of a rant? I hope so. I hope it's slightly rantish, just even 2 degrees of rant would be good.
Well, I can feel your passion, so I totally enjoy that.
Most people we encounter, they want to make more money. Most people we coach the different Fortune 500 companies. We have leadership, success, influence, sales training. They think they're coming just to make the money, and they do make a lot more money. They don't realize that we're basically opening their heart at the same time. and teaching them a completely different way of doing business. The other side of what we do is we work with conflict resolution for the mayor's office, and we do conflict resolution trainings and leadership trainings for the city. And then we have the relationships, intimate relationships, breakthroughs, and we just do a bunch of different stuff. And my goal is to basically travel the world and empower people, and at the end of the day, bring us all together. Whatever that looks like, we all get to come together. No one gets to think they're better than anybody else. We get to discover that we're all spiritual beings living in a human body. No one's got it figured out. No one's got it figured out. There may be people that are a little further on the journey that can be a good mentor or a coach to you. That's fine. But no one's figured out. I just watched a movie called Bliss. Oh my gosh, that hit me hard. So I watched a movie called Bliss from 1980 something. Not the new movie. It's an old movie. And this woman had been sexually molested, actually basically raped by her own father. And she, 30 years later, she's in a marriage and they're having marital problems. So all you don't know anything about her past yet. You just know that they have marital problems and they're going to see a therapist. And through the discovery of the movie, this man is teaching the husband how to heal her, how to heal his own wife. And through the journey, I don't want to ruin it, so you guys get to watch it. It's just an incredible movie. But I want you to, if you find me, however you find me, you can find me on Kaya Redford on Instagram or on Facebook. I'll give you my website and phone number and stuff too. You can. I want you to watch that movie, and especially in the area of people that have gone through stuff in their life. And I want you to share with me the last 5 minutes, the last 3 minutes of the movie was when I went, wow. So I'm not going to tell you the ending. It's just incredible. The very, very last thing. And so I know that I've talked your ears off, Julianne. I swam for an hour. I got all this swimming pool energy in me. And
I love it. I was fascinated. And we only have like 2 minutes left. Is there anything else that you'd love to share?
I just, Julianne, it's you, you are creating this vehicle, this instrument, the fact that you're reading the book, the fact that you're doing the work, whether people, I'm sure people realize it, but just in case anybody doesn't, Julianne, you're healing the world. You're bringing love and light to the world. We're doing the same work in a different way and the same work, and it's beautiful. And whenever you ask me to be on your show, I'm in. And maybe we get to do an event together. Maybe we get to fill a room with, 150, 100, 200, 500 people and actually guide them through a day of transformation together. And that would be fantastic. We are my partner, Veronica Larrea. You will probably see her on my social media too. She's incredible. She's opened the doors to Colombia. So the drug capital of the world. We were just there. We've met the family of Sofia, the cousins of Sofia Vergara, the actress. So we're now connected to the most powerful people in Colombia, and we're bringing this education there. She opened the doors to Brazil. We were in Sao Paulo. Years prior, I took this to China. So we're about, let's do this worldwide. People will make more money, but more importantly than that, there'll be more unity and more love in the world. So can I give a website and a phone number?
Absolutely.
So website, if you want to go to, there's actually 2 websites. The one that's a little bit more about the success coaching would be gtatransform.com. So GTA stands for Global Transformation Academy. So transform, one word, all one word.com is the website. Phone number is area code 626 329 8001, 626 329 8001. That would be a great number to text. Text your first name, last name. Someone from our company will respond to you, and hopefully maybe I will even be able to speak with you. We have a free, event coming up on June 26th, Saturday. It will be on virtual, on Zoom, so you can join us from anywhere in the world. People have huge breakthroughs. It's a free event, and we go into your vision, what you want to do with your life, your challenges. We help you figure out what's in the gap. You learn other tools on how to communicate with people. How do you find out what are the things that, the different personality types, and what are the keywords you can use and say to communicate better with other individuals, for the purpose of, you tell me, whatever your career is, whatever your product is or services that you have. So, and ultimately how to grow, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and for sure financially. I don't focus on the financial. It happens. It's the reason why people want to do the work and they achieve it. I would just not, me personally, make that more important than your happiness and your freedom and your living your purpose in life.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Kaya. That's all the time that we have, and I'll be back next week, everyone. Have a great night.
Love you guys. Peace out. Thank you so much, Julianne. See you guys soon.
Thank you.